Good evening, YouTube. My name's Derek. On a whim, I just decided to start my own YouTube channel. And I thought to myself, what could I be so passionate about that I wanted to share with the rest of the world? My idea, video game music. But I don't almost want to listen to it. I want to talk about it with other people, I want to give my impressions about it, and I want to hear what others have to say. When I was about 14, I developed an interest for video game music. Probably starting with Super Mario Brothers, specifically the original. And from there, I started listening to soundtracks for F-Zero, The Legend of Zelda, Tales of Symphonia, that's another good one. My favorite soundtracks, I gotta say, will probably be the original 6 Mega Man games for the NES, Castlevania Rondo of Blood. My favorite composer for video game music, not Koji Kondo, although he is a fantastic composer. I gotta give that credit to Motoi Sakuraba, specifically for his work for Baten Kaitos and Baten Kaitos Origins. So I decided for my first video, I'm not going to put myself in my comfort zone with a soundtrack that I've already listened to extensively. What I want to do is a soundtrack that's short, sweet, easy to review. Something simple for the first video. So I've decided on Contra. NES Contra. Not Probotector or the arcade version. NES Contra. Now I've decided to set this up so that there's an accompanying video for each one, and you can easily click the link in the annotation to go to the accompanying video. I'm going to listen to a few tracks, but you'll also be able to listen to them at the same time because I'll give you some heads up, and as I'm commenting on them, you'll be able to hear exactly what I'm hearing, hopefully. Now, when it comes to Contra, the two things in mind that I have are action and horror. If you think about it, Contra is inspired by Predator, Alien, Rambo, all those super macho movies from the 80s. And really, there's no other game that better exemplifies this sort of over-the-top macho action. Now, I don't want to draw this out too long. My idea is a lot of people come for the specific number of the review, and that's what I want to give people. I'm going to give that up first, and then I'll discuss later on, over the course of the video, why my decision is that. The Contra soundtrack, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's a great soundtrack, a couple of pitfalls to it. But I'm going to go through them. So we're going to start off with the jungle theme, a classic one. You probably don't even need to listen to it in order to actually hear it. So I'm going to put that up in 3, 2, 1. Now this is the iconic soundtrack for Contra. It's just about in every single Contra game. I do prefer the Contra 4 version better, but you really can't go wrong with this one. This sets the tone for the game. Because you're not facing aliens yet, it primarily focuses on action, over-the-top, adrenaline-pumping action. I find the song doesn't take itself too seriously, though. It's almost like action with a humorous undertone to it. It's so over the top, it's almost a little bit funny. And yes, the game is all about action, so much so that it is a little bit humorous at times. Now, another particularly good song would have to be the boss battle theme. And again, 3, 2. Now this is where it makes the jump from an action-packed theme to tense, horror, which I think perfectly exemplifies the alien side of the game. This comes at a time when you're facing a massive alien boss. This song does an absolutely great job of packing tension in, particularly this section right here. Just going to pause for a moment there. It's an absolutely fantastic way to face some giant alien bosses. It strips away the pumping adrenaline you get from more action-packed themes like the energy zone and the waterfall. Another good tune, by the way. And it creates almost a sense of claustrophobia, being in a room with a massive alien. Now, I did mention the soundtrack had a couple of pitfalls, and I am going to go over that. For one, a lot of the same songs are used repeatedly. Jungle and waterfall themes, though they're iconic for those levels, you will hear them a few times. However, Snowfield and Energy Zone, you've already been hearing a lot of these tunes for most of the game, and even though they're not the exact same thing, they still share the exact same theme, and it gets a little wearing. There's nothing particularly great about those songs, and they're okay, but just by that point in the game, you're probably a little tired of them. And the last highlight I want to share with you is right after those levels in the alien's lair. So again, 3, 2, every level before this, barring the boss battles, has been all about getting your heart pumping, dodging bullets, blasting your enemies. This completely strips away any comfort you get from those songs. If Boss Battles was the perfect song to introduce tension against a large alien enemy, this is the one to pack that tension all into the final level against an alien swarm. Although I am disappointed there's no special music for the final boss, the giant heart, I find this is absolutely appropriate for an alien lair. It's a nice way to end off the game for the final level. There's also a few more songs in there you can go over. For instance, you can see why my impressions of Snowfield and Energy Zone aren't all that great. Great songs, if you haven't been listening to something so similar for the past couple times. Jungle and Waterfall, those are the two really good action songs. The ending, it's almost like a lighthearted foil to the rest of the game. You spend so much of the game in this tense, serious mode that when you get to the ending, it's almost like jubilant celebration. You can let all that tension go. You might even laugh a little bit about the song. I know the first time I finished Contra, I found the song kind of funny compared to what the rest of the game was like. And the game over song, again, we all know that one. We don't really want to hear it. It's not a good thing to hear. Anyways, I'm going to leave off this review with a couple things. I'm going to link over to two songs that I originally encountered on OC Remix. Both posted in annotations. One being Feeding Frenzy, which is actually a remix of Energy Zone and Boss Battle. If you thought Jungle was all about high intensity action, the guitarist on this, Goat, he's absolutely fantastic. And the second is actually more of a techno track, basses loaded. Basses has a different tone from the rest of the game in that it creates more of a infiltration style sound. It's not so much about action now that you're in close quarters with the enemy. But this particular techno soundtrack actually does really well by the rest of Contra. Give it a listen. I think you're going to like it. Anyways, post comments below. I would like to get ideas from other people about other soundtracks to review. To get in my comfort zone a little bit, I'm going to do a couple more of these, hopefully once a week. I'm really wanting to do Castlevania Rondo of Blood, and maybe even Sonic 2. But I also want to do some soundtracks on request. So post them if I see something I really like or really curious about. I might do it in a review. But I hope you enjoyed listening to this. I'm hoping my speech skills get better for the following videos. And again, the complete soundtrack for Contra is posted on my channel if you'd like to take a listen.